Let's be real, you've probably already forgotten about the goals that you set at the beginning of the year, but you're not the only one. I think that sometimes we all lose track at times. That's why I'm here as your reset button and as your reminder to get back on track. This entire video is focused on realigning, revising, and resetting your goals for 2025 because you still do have time to make this your best year yet. You just need a little bit of a push to get back on track starting right now. You know what? This is not going to be just another video that you come across and that you forget about. I actually want you to stay focused and to reach your goals. So I've literally made an entire free guidebook that you can use as you realign yourself for the rest of this year. So I don't want to hear any excuses on why you don't do this. I'm going to link it down below, so don't forget to grab it. And after watching this entire video and soaking in all of the good tips that I share with you, I want you to comment down below with at least one goal that you are committing to, and I want you to tell me how you're going to achieve this goal. It's only going to take about 5 minutes to do, and it's a great way to start holding yourself accountable because I personally will come back in a few weeks to check in with you and make sure that you haven't forgotten about this goal that you set. Let's do this together, and let's use the comment section as our checkpoint. And if you see someone else that needs a little push, remind them as well. First things first is that we need to get an overview of your goals to figure out what is going good so far, what needs attention, and what needs to change. Go ahead and pull out your vision board, pull out your planner, pull out your journal, or whatever it is that you wrote your initial goals this year, because we're about to dive into them again. And if you haven't set goals for this year yet, then I suggest that you start by watching the video that I recently uploaded called Ultimate Summer Glow Up. This is so that you can get an idea of how you want to start changing your life this season of life. I'll tag it up here, and I'll also put it in the description down below as well. After looking at your initial goals, I want you to reflect over these goals, and I want you to write down how well you feel you did in achieving these goals. Answer these 2 questions when reflecting on your goals. Question number 1 is, what were your wins and how did you celebrate them? I want to start with your wins because your wins matter so much. Maybe your wins were that you actually stayed consistent with waking up earlier. Maybe it was that you hit a savings goal, or maybe it was that you finally changed your eating habits. And I also want you to think about your not so obvious wins as well. Maybe you were able to change your routine around and not be on your phone so much before bed. Or maybe you learned to set stronger boundaries with people by saying no more often. And let's say that you celebrated these wins by taking yourself out on a nice dinner, or by getting yourself something that you've been really wanting to get for yourself. The second question I want you to ask yourself and reflect on is, what goals did you struggle with the most and why? Maybe you struggled with staying consistent with going to the gym. Maybe you struggled with posting consistently on social media since you want to become an influencer. And it could be that you didn't stay consistent going to the gym because you didn't feel motivated enough, or you didn't find a workout routine that actually resonates with you. And maybe you struggled with posting content consistently because you didn't prioritize and schedule time aside to create and post content. Again, keep in mind that this is to figure out what worked for you, what went well, and what did not. I also don't want you to just focus on the negative. I don't want you to just focus on how hard it was for you to stay consistent or how hard it was for you to achieve these goals. I don't want you to discourage or punish yourself by doing this. I don't want you to remind yourself of how you're not capable. This is more so to see what your strengths and weaknesses are so that you can improve them. And remember that you should always be celebrating your wins, no matter how big or how small they are. This is how you stay motivated, and this is how you reassure yourself that you are also doing good things. Now that you know what worked for you and what didn't work for you, you need to get back into the basics. You need to readjust your goals. Our intentions and our goals can change over time. And maybe in this season of life, you want new things. Or maybe you just need to approach things in a different way. This is where the free guide is going to come in handy because you'll be able to do this right on there. You'll be able to use it as a guide as you reflect and as you revise your goals and create new ones. So let's reevaluate and revise your entire life. I want you to write down the different areas of your life line by line. For example, you could write career, finance, relationships, social life, hobbies, health, spirituality, personal development, and you're going to do this in a list order. From a scale to 1 to 5, I want you to rate each area of your life with your current level of satisfaction. 1 being not satisfied at all, and 5 being very satisfied. So let's say that you're not very satisfied with where you currently work. So you rate your career a 2, but you make pretty good money there. So you give your finances a 4. And let's say that you haven't been consistent with attending to your mental health. So you give your health a rating of a 3. After rating all of these areas, I want you to dive in even deeper. I want you to journal and reflect on the following 2 questions. And yes, more journaling questions. Number 1, why did you give this rating? In this example, we gave our career a 2. Why is that? Is it that you don't like what you do? Is it that you don't like the people that you work with? Is it that you're unhappy there? The second question is, how will you improve this rating? How are you going to achieve this goal? If you gave your mental health a 3, what is your action plan to make it a 4 or 5 score rating? The action plan could be that you're going to start meditating, going to therapy, or just journaling more often to maintain a positive mindset. But I want you to get really specific about this, because this is exactly what you're going to do to take you from point A to point B. Are you going to meditate in the morning or at night? Is there a specific time that you should set out to make sure that you do this? Maybe you need to block out time so you can actually focus and get it done. Don't just generalize your answer, but get very clear on what it is that you need to do. Take your time and be as detailed as possible. It is about time that you took control of your life and head in the right direction during the next 6 months. When I did my mid-year review, I rated my mental health a 2.5, my YouTube career a 3, and my finances a 0. This is because I started to spiral down such a negative, dark space because of my finances, to the point where I didn't have motivation to keep going anymore. I wasn't posting as consistently on YouTube anymore, and I didn't know how to balance reaching my goals and making money. This literally kept me anxiously up every single night. It got really bad. So upon revising the goals that I set at the beginning of the year, I realized that I needed to use a new strategy and a new approach to achieving my goals. My goals didn't exactly change too much, but I needed to create more discipline around achieving my goals because I was getting burnt out and feeling unmotivated. And it's also because I wasn't using my time wisely. To improve these areas I didn't feel satisfied in, like my mental health, the growth of my YouTube channel, my finances, I started going back to the basics with a new approach. I started doing daily mindful practices again, like meditating, praying, and spending time in nature to maintain a positive mindset. I started prioritizing posting on YouTube more consistently, and now I'm posting a video every single Sunday, and I do not miss a single Sunday no matter what. And I actually got a part-time job to take some weight off my financial worry. Basically, I came up with a solution with the things I wasn't happy with. I executed it, and now I see the positive change. I cut off the distractions like spending too much time on my phone when I could be using that time to be productive instead. I became more disciplined and more organized. And I even picked up the habit of running almost every single morning, which literally has made such a difference in my mental health. And honestly, if I wouldn't have reflected on all of this, if I wouldn't had a midpoint review, I would have just continued on autopilot. I would have kept going that spiral of victim mentality and feeling like everything was just too hard and not working out in my favor. But no, I decided to take control and to change things around for myself. I implemented the solutions and I got back on track. Now that you're clear on what you want to change in your life, the goals that you want to keep and the goals that you want to remove, and most importantly, now that you know what steps you need to take to achieve these goals, you now need to have and set a monthly check-in point. This is crucial. This is why I mentioned in the beginning of the video that we're going to use the comment section as a check-in point. So when it's time to do your monthly check-in, come back to this video and let me know how it's going for you so far. Tell me what you've accomplished so far. So at the beginning or end of every month, you are going to set some time aside to go over how the previous month went and how you want the next month to go. And of course, you can even use the strategies that I'm sharing with you throughout this video at your monthly check-in point. When you're doing your monthly review, think about this. What worked well for you in the past month? What did not work well for you in the last month? And what can you do better or differently this upcoming month? Think about what you need to focus on to come closer to your goals. Listen, if you don't have monthly check-ins, you will forget about your goals and you're going to fall off track. You can have a friend of yours hold you accountable. You can write these things down. You can even set reminders on your phone like I do. I started setting calendar monthly reminders for when it was time to do my monthly review so I wouldn't forget to do them. And to make this even easier for you, on top of the guidebook, on top of all of the tips I've shared, on top of the comment section, I even have a Notion template that you can use that is literally designed not only to help you change your identity, but literally track your goals. You start out personalizing the planner by setting your intentions and getting clear about your goals. This is writing down your why you're doing this, why this matters, and writing down what your ideal future would look like in all areas of your life. You would then add in 1 to 6 goals. I personally would not add more than 4 goals at a time. And of course, sometimes this changes on a monthly basis when I do my reviews, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself and you want to be able to focus on each goal individually. Once you add in your goals, you go down to the weekly drop-down grid to track each goal on a daily basis. This is where you add in your goals and the amount of times per week that you want to complete that goal. You'll just check them off as you go. This is what I like most about the Notion template, is that you get to track each week with a score and overall score at the end of each week. This way, you know exactly if you're falling off track or if you're staying on track with your goals. You normally want to stay with an 85% or higher as an average score. I also have prompts and motivators at the bottom of the template to keep you inspired and to help you stay consistent. It's honestly such an easy and useful tool to use, specifically if you're someone who struggles with being consistent and with being disciplined. This is literally why I made it, because I couldn't stay consistent myself. If you want to get the Notion template, I will link it for you down below and in the comment section as well. So it's really simple. This isn't even that long of a video because all you need to do is get an overview of how you did in achieving your goals that you set at the beginning of the year. You need to revise this by setting new goals or tweaking the ones you already have. And the most important part, you just need to integrate and take actionable steps. Hold yourself accountable and believe in yourself because you got this. I know that you do. All right, my loves, until the next time, mwah, see ya.